Making this video because I could not find any resources online on how to do a front-end conversion on a Tremec TKO-500, and I guess the 600 would be the same process. Now that I've finally got it figured out here, I'm just gonna go through real quick what you got to do. First, you got to take your covers off. There's the 3 covers here. I had the shifter all the way in the back there. I already pulled that shifter off. Pulled the next mid-shift cover off. Pulled out these 3 pins, or these 3, I don't even know what they're called, but you got to pull those out. They've got these little spring pins. Just get yourself a punch and tap them out nice and easy. Just use this punch from Harbor Freight. Tap them out nice and easy. Sorry, it's a little awkward to set this up here. I didn't even tap it all the way out because I didn't want to drop it inside the transmission. Once you get that one out, I think this was the second one to take. Doesn't matter. That's easily enough figured out. Just get those out of there, okay? Then you got to take this top cover off the transmission. Just zip the bolts out. Tap it a little bit with a rubber mallet. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not the next. Once you've got those out, then you've got to... I'm already forgetting what I did. I think then you take the tail housing off. Just tap that with a rubber mallet. It'll come out. Then you take this cover off. Same deal. You've got the little pins. Just drive the pins out of the cover. There is this little cap here. It's got the springs and the balls that go in there and, you know, lock those shift positions. Once you've got those loose, got those pins out, if I remember correctly, you've got your 5th gear reverse shift fork here. In this middle position is the 3rd and 4th gear shift fork. I already took mine out, so yours isn't going to look like this just yet. And this is the, what did I say? Reverse 5th. No, this is 1st and 2nd. Right. Right. Okay, so let me show you. This was a little frustrating for me to try to get these things out of here because I didn't understand what was going on at first. So it doesn't matter. Pulling the pins in and out are the same. These are the shorter pins because it's the new thing. I've got my old pins up there. You're not going to use them anyway. Your kit will come with replacement pins. Anyway, I'm going to try to do this one-handed here. It has to do that. In here you've got little pins inside each rod, and as they push across, as you shift positions, it locks the other pins from going anywhere. So if you can't get it out, that's why. It's stuck in there. I didn't put any of my spring pins in, so all this stuff slides around right now. So you've got to make sure that you are in neutral on all of these. See, this one's not in neutral. So now we got neutral, neutral, and that one slides out. The longer ones will have pieces sticking out here, so it's easier to take them in and out. Try to hold this phone and do this. Okay. So here is my reverse and 5th gear pin. Yeah. Just goes in there. I'm going to keep it like that so I don't lose track of these. Next, you take out 3rd and 4th gear. Just slide that out of there. This is the little piece that, well, I'll show you that here in a second. And then you take out first and second. Alright, so in your kit, your fork's going to look like that. And what I got pretty confused about also is the fact that none of this stuff looks like a shifter socket. And I thought maybe I had the wrong kit. The instructions that I got was actually for a different model transmission, and I think it didn't match up any of the parts that I had. Wasn't clear. But what I figured it out finally is this actually makes its own shifting box socket. When you get these in there all with the rail, it because this other one has another one that comes up on this top part, creates this little void in here for you to shift. And when you shift there, you can well, that's really all you can do, that one or that one. The shifter only goes in one linear motion, so you can do your third and fourth this way, and then when you shift over, it pushes down this little locking mechanism there, so that you engage that fork, and you leave 3 and 4, and now you can shift this one. And of course the same story over here on fifth and reverse, engages that, and then you can go like that. So again, the way this goes back together, well, let me show you that pin too. All right, so these are your position holders for which gear you're shifting to. And this one is what interacts with this system in here. I don't know exactly what it is. I stuck my finger in there just to see. I can't quite tell. But here is the third and fourth. And you see there's that little, it's just that little pin in there. It's loose. It just slips around in there. So as this thing rotates and it comes out of that groove, it pushes against the neighboring pin. Pushes against the neighboring pin and then locks into the neighboring groove. Easy peasy. So just remember, if you can't get any of these pins out, you're struggling with that, make sure you're in neutral and you're not rotated the wrong way, because once you get all the pins out of these shift forks, this thing's going to be able to rotate around, and that was a problem I had. I just couldn't get it out. So let me throw it together real quick here. Do the second gear first. I'm sorry, first and second gear first. Slide that in there. This goes this direction, I think, if I remember right. Ugh. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the phone and do this stuff at the same time. Anyway, that goes in there like that. Make sure your groove is facing the right direction. These are facing upwards. Slide that in there. Don't get your finger stuck in this hole. There we go. And this will line up with the pin that it needs to line up with. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Next you do 3 and 4. Slide that in there. Yep, see? It's not going in. So, there we go. There we go. Alright, now the last thing that's a bit confusing is which direction does this go? It goes this direction. This curved piece is necessary for this shift fork. Once you put that pin in there, that shift fork would otherwise smack into this ridge. So it can only go in that direction. I mean, you can put it in the other direction, but you're going to quickly realize that's not right. Then you put your third and fourth gear fork at the end here. This is hard to work one-handed. Anyway, you slide that in there, get your neutral position right, and then go to your fifth and reverse pin, slide that in there, go. Remember, if you're having struggle with this, rotate. Make sure this is straight up and down and in the middle position. That's neutral. And lastly, put this guy in here. This rides on that pin. Finger's stuck. And that's pretty much it. And then put it all back together. And that's all there is to it, really. Well, hopefully this helps you if you're trying to figure this all out for yourself for the first time and you don't have any instructions. There you go.